Welcome to From Beyond The Paign, an Illinois basketball podcast. I'm Cody. You can follow me on Twitter at Cody_CHGO. I'm also on TikTok at the same handle and Instagram. Again, did not expect to be doing a podcast. Well, okay, that's a lie. We all knew that this news was probably coming today, and I should have mentioned that I would do one of these when that news came out. I knew Jeremiah Fears was making his decision today, and I didn't let y'all know on the last podcast that, we would do a reaction to this. But anyway, about 4 o'clock today, it was between 3 and 4 o'clock. I was playing ping pong at the CHGO studios with Ryan, and I knew that news was coming out, and we have this off-season tournament going on, and it was important. Not the point. None of you guys care. But I knew it was coming out today, and I'm sorry that I didn't say that we would do a podcast when the news came out. But we're here. And first off, I want to thank everyone who has subscribed. All right. We went over 300 last night. I'm up to 315 last I checked. I want to thank everyone who subscribed within the last, 24 hours. It means a lot. And now the goal before the end of the college basketball season, I would love to get to 500, especially with baseball season coming around, and everyone knows that's my bread and butter, but I would love to get to 500 before the end of the college basketball season. But we broke the goal of getting to 300 before the end of January. So I feel like I can get 200 before the end of this college basketball season. So I wanted to start off with that. Thank you to everyone. Again, it means a lot, and your support means so much. It genuinely does. I'm not just bullshitting all of you. So anyway, I see some people in the chat already here on YouTube. Shane, what's up, bro? Divine, how you doing? If you're watching on my Twitter account, because I normally stream on YouTube or on Twitter, my Facebook page. Sometimes I didn't feel like streaming on my Facebook page tonight. If you're watching on Twitter, please come to my YouTube channel and hit that like button and subscribe. If you hit the like button, it helps other Illini fans perhaps find my channel. So that would mean a lot. So Shane, he's tired of me talking about all the thank yous and everything. He's like legit point guard. And I agree. Let's just get down to it. Jeremiah Fears commits to Illinois as part of the 2025 recruiting class. Now, I'm a little confused, and maybe some of you guys in the chat can help me out. And I'm like, there's so many people or so many outlets that are ranking, like ESPN, 24/7 Sports. What's the other one that Joe Tipton works for? On3. Like, they all have their own ranking systems, the composite rankings. Like, all I know is that he's a 4-star. Most of them say he's a 4-star, but I think ESPN is the one that said he's a 5-star. And I think even Jeremiah Fears tweeted that today, that he is a 5-star. So either way, he is a top 35 prospect for the class of 2025. I'm looking at Illini Inquirer, which is 24/7 Sports. They have him ranked as the number 44 overall prospect of 2025, but again, number 31 in the composite rankings. The guy is a top 50 prospect for the class of 2025. Let's just leave it at that. He's one of the best players that's supposed to come out for the 2025 class. And I promise y'all, let me just put this out there. I'm not following recruiting as much as I probably would like to, just because I don't have the time. When I hear about major recruits potentially coming to Illinois, I look into them, right? So that's as much that I've done for this, but I have known over the last handful of days that he was going to make this decision. I had a few people in my DMs mentioning that, like, the word was out there that perhaps he was going to choose Illinois. So to me, when the news came out, I wasn't exactly surprised. But the finalists, there were 4 finalists. It was Illinois, Kansas, Michigan, Providence, and Ole Miss. So Illinois beats out old friend Bill Self. I love to see that, personally. I love to see that. I think the big thing, why it matters in general, is that he's a hometown guy. He's an Illinois State product, right? He's from Joliet, if you didn't know. And like this just continues the trend that Brad Underwood has set the standard for, basically, or he has consistently been able to get the best players out of the state of Illinois since he came to University of Illinois. Want some names if you're new here, if you've been under a rock over the last 7 years or whatever? Io DeSumo, Adam Miller, Ty Rogers, and of course Morez Johnson, who just committed to Illinois, committed, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Sometime last year. So the trend of the best players in the state coming to Illinois, something that we did not see a lot of in the John Gross era and a lot of the Bruce Weber era, in my opinion. It's something that I genuinely do not take for granted. All right. I genuinely don't take it for granted. So to get one of the best players in the state to commit to Illinois now is incredible. I guess Illinois had been recruiting him since he was in 8th grade. They had their eyes on him, right? So that's my biggest takeaway for sure, is the fact that Illinois has continued to bring guys in that were that are part of the state. So let's get to some comments. Lazy Forrest Gump is back. What's up, man? He says he is more of a combo guard. Yeah, I'm from what I've read, a lot of people, he's part of what they call the Steph Curry generation. So he grew up watching guys like Steph Curry. So from my understanding, from what I've read, he has he has limitless range, I think the thing on 2K is like one of the I forget what the things are on 2K when you create a player, but limitless range is one of those things, and that's what he has apparently. And I think that he can be a good scoring guard. I'm interested to see how he can be as a distributor as well, but he's definitely getting highlighted as a guard who can go out and get you a bucket. What else you got? A backcourt of him and Butler looks pretty similar to D and Darren play-wise style. Yeah, I mean, don't get me started on comparing guys to Darren Williams and D Brown. don't get me started. Don't let me talk myself into it. But yes, and Divine says one of the better recruits we've ever gotten. Yes, I believe I was listening to the Illini Inquirer podcast that was today. I think it was Jeremy Werner. And he is one of the highest ranked recruits that Brad Underwood has ever got in his tenure here. So I don't know the exact number, like if where he ranks, but he is up there, and this is huge for the future. And I think they mentioned this on their show, so I won't take credit for it. But I do think that where the program sits right now, like I know this Terrence Shannon Jr. stuff in the currently right now is being Illinois is taking a lot of slander and a lot of criticism from the outside right now because of that. But as a program as a whole, especially over the last 4 years, about to be 5 years, because this team is really good now, they have created a pipeline, you could say, or you could say they have created a culture that is spreading to the masses, and recruits are talking to other players that are either being recruited or they might know someone who's already on the team now. And it just feels like a good word of mouth is being said, is being put out there related to Illinois basketball. And you couldn't say that. You couldn't say that about Illinois during the John Gross era. You couldn't say that, towards the end of Bruce Weber's era. And the only thing that people could say at the end of Bruce Weber's era is that, okay, he was the coach that took that team to the Final Four. And like Illinois tried to ride that out as much as they could. And they fell to mediocrity. And I'm not sugarcoating it. That is what it was. Now with the success of this program over the last 4 or 5 years, it's starting. Illinois has a great reputation now for recruits. It's just the fact of the matter. And I tweeted this earlier. Like, I used to dream of times like this. I legit used to dream of times like this in the 2010s seasons, right? I really did. And it feels like Illinois is reloading, retooling every single year, and we're finishing the top 5 of the Big Ten every year. And that's spreading, and fears like he's got 2 more years, right? 2 more years of high school. So he hasn't even really seen Illinois be bad, right? Like, depending on how long he's been watching basketball, been following basketball, whether it's the NBA or even college hoops, like during his time since what he said he started getting recruited in 8th grade, like if he's been following Illinois basketball since then, he hasn't seen Illinois be bad, like as far as like being competitive and doing well in conference, right? So I think that's a big thing, because during those 2010s, it just felt like it was like pulling hair out of people's heads when it came to recruiting. And, like, I think Io DeSumo deserves a lot of credit. He should get he should be getting all kinds of free shit from Illinois just because of what he did to bring this program back to where it was once at when I was a kid in the 2000s. So those are the two things. The fact that this program just continues to bring in dudes from in-state and out of state, by the way. They continue to recruit well and put good teams together. There's no down season, right? Maybe last season, as far as since the 2019-2020 season, maybe last season was like the worst season of that. They went 11-9 in conference, first round exit. They had all the turmoil between Jaden Epps and Michael Mayer. They were a very young team. They just never gelled together, right? They were not really fun to watch at all, right? But other than that team, like even with that team was still good enough that you would watch every night, right? So I think this is just a testament to what Brad Underwood has done in his time as the coach at Illinois. Lazy Forest Cup. His bag is deep, as the kids say. Yes, brother. Let's see. Joe says Jeremiah is going to be a great compliment to Jace Butler. Jace made a big jump in the 24/7 rankings and is a top 100 4-star. Great rival by the staff at Stanford was his only other high major offer. Yeah, they mentioned they talked about Jace Butler on the Illini Acquire podcast today as well, and I listened to it. And they, I think they gave Tim Anderson a lot of credit in terms of recognizing him early, and because he wasn't. I think he just got his 4-star recently, right? So, yeah, no, I'm excited. I remain excited about a lot of these dudes that they're bringing in. I try not to like overhype and think that this guy's going to be an Illini legend and we're going to put his name in the rafters for every single one of them. But, there's a lot there's a lot to like. And again, I keep emphasizing it. Guys, the guy is from the state of Illinois. So I used to dream of times like this. So we can go through. This is a quote that he told 24/7 Sports. I decided Illinois because of the program. I have a great relationship with the coaches and the play style fits my game. Coach Underwood's vision is to come and be the leader, an elite guard, help take the program to the next level, take the program to a national championship. I'm very excited to play for my home state. This decision was a very hard decision for me, but I know Illinois will be looking forward to getting a dog. I already love the kid. And I watched his video he tweeted out today. And he just seems like he has a high confidence. He has a big confidence in himself. And, he does look like a kid that could immediately make a huge impact in 2025 in that season, right? So I'm excited. I am excited, and I think those games against Michigan State could be real fun if Jeremy hangs around for a couple years, right? I believe he's a freshman at Michigan State. Will he be there for 2 more years after this? I'm not really sure, like, his ceiling. I think their father actually said that Jeremiah had the higher ceiling. Like his dad actually said that. So maybe Jeremy is a 3 or 4 year starter for Michigan State. I'm not sure. Again, I don't follow them enough, but would be fun to see that first Michigan State game with Jeremiah and Jeremy going up against each other. I won't lie about that. So I look forward to that day. I'll be like almost 35 years old. Don't want to think about it, but that will be a fun game to watch if he's there. So well, we're about 16 minutes in. I didn't really know how long we were going to go because I don't really have a lot to say about this in general. Just the fact that it's huge for the program. It's huge for Brad Underwood and the reputation he's created for Illinois. It's something to get really, really excited about. Lazy Forrest Gump says, we all remember that 38-33 loss to Penn State. Oh my goodness. I'm assuming is that related to your first comment, I think? I don't know. The first season I remember watching was 97-98, say outside the end of Kruger and Self era into begging if whoever this is the best place the program has been. Yeah. Okay. I think that last comment I read was related to that. Yeah, no, I think in general, like, you could call me a bandwagon fan, but I was a freshman in high school whenever Illinois went to the Final Four in the 04-05 season. And that's how I became an Illini fan, was watching that team. So I feel like I got that year, and then it was just bad. Outside of, the year after they went to the tournament, went second round, right? Basically the rest of, the years that Augustine and D Brown were there. That the Brandon Paul, Myers Leonard era was fun. You always felt like they could have been better. The Brandon Paul game against Ohio State is one that I always think about when I think about that era. That loss to Miami in the NCAA tournament still just pisses me off when I think about it. But outside of that, the 2010s were terrible. So now we're in this era, and oh boy, yeah, we're in a great spot, right? I did hear about this. Another comment from Lazy Forrest Gump. He said he wants to recruit AJ Dybantsa. I think that's how you say his name. I still don't know how you say his name, but he's apparently the number 1 recruit for that 2025 class. So if Illinois gets like the number 1 recruit because of him, or he has a play in it, listen. don't let me talk myself into it, but it would be great, right? It would be great. I was reading something from On3. He quoted this from Joe Tipton. He said, Fear said, Illinois' coaching staff did a pretty good job as well in the visit. The play style fits me, and the guards have a crazy leash. And that's true. They really do. I think guards should want to come to Illinois because they're just going to get free reign to basically do whatever they want. And honestly, it helps them market themselves and promote themselves for the next step, as in going to the NBA, right? So I feel like Illinois should never have issues recruiting for guards with the play style that Brad Underwood has implemented, right? So he's not wrong there. What else? I think maybe that was it. On3's scouting report, Fears is a compact and confident guard. He plays with a lot of burst on both ends of the floor. Fears has a confident handle and uses his burst to get to his spots. He plays balanced with an ability to rise up and knock down shots at each level. He is more of a score-first guard than a point guard. Fears is a good on-ball defender at the point of attack. Some could question the size. There is an undeniable competitive fire in there. Yeah. So I like someone said earlier in the chat, I do think he is more of a 2 guard as well, or at least a scoring first point guard. Maybe, a better version of, I don't know, Trent Frazier. And I don't know. I don't like to compare guys, but that's basically what I felt like Trent Frazier was. So yeah, no, it's exciting. My guy Matt Mbone HD, what's up, brother? Jeremiah Fears is going to go to Texas in a couple years and beat y'all. I don't know if they're going to play Texas again, but I'm just letting you know now. Anyway, before I get out of here, we've been doing this for about 20 minutes. I didn't mention this on the last podcast, so I did want to talk about this. But last week, DGL's mom went off on Facebook. I can't believe I'm talking about this. And a lot of people were talking about it. I've had Purdue fans in the YouTube chat talking to me, yelling, trolling, telling me that they're so happy that DGL decommitted and went to Illinois and this and that. Well, DGL tweeted, I believe, last night. What did he say? I got to go look it up. Here we go. He tweeted a picture yesterday of him going up for a dunk, and the caption is, "If it didn't come from me, then don't pay it no mind. 100 emoji. DGL is here to stay." All I could say is that anyone who actually thought whatever his mom was putting out on Facebook and how that might affect him transferring or whatever, I just think that all that kind of stuff, people like put too much into it. Like, I understand why some people might jump to that conclusion because Jaden Epps, Adam Miller, guys have transferred out, especially guards, right? So I get it from a certain standpoint. And I've sat on this podcast and I've said that I want DGL to play more. I've screamed it, but I'm not gonna get into the conspiracy theory of that possible stuff. So I will say it was comforting to see him tweet that and then say DGL is here to stay. And I think that this kid can be something really fun to watch once given the opportunity, probably more so next year, and can really make an impact. But I know right now it's been kind of frustrating, and with Terrence Shannon back, it's kind of like, where will he get the minutes? Again, I still think he should play over Moretti in some aspects, but I think Moretti has shown, some signs of, being a solid piece off the bench as well. So I don't know, but Illinois went more off the bench against Rutgers than they had in what felt like 3 weeks the other day. So with Terrence Shannon back, maybe they blow out some more teams, and that opens up an opportunity for DGL to get some more minutes. Lazy Forrest Gump says Dane's mom ain't screaming on Facebook, and that's true. Honestly, if I was Dane's mom, I'd be screaming too. He's not even getting 5 minutes a game half the time. It's just funny when you see players like parents going off. Like, we all have that parent. If you played high school athletics or something, we all have that parent that would yell about the coach not playing their kid more, right? Like, we've all had that person. So I took it all with a grain of salt. And when I went to go look at her Facebook post, it reminded me so much of just like my friends' parents when I was in high school and how they bitched and moaned about how their kid wasn't playing. Meanwhile, I'll sit in the bench for every single game, and I played like 2 minutes a game. And it was only if the team was up 20 or down 20. That's why I sit in front of a microphone and talk about other guys playing now, guys, because I wasn't very good. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. I just think it's one of the more funnier storylines. And until I see it, I'm not really worried about DGL transferring out. So we'll see. Now, that said, if he transfers out and he goes on to be like Brandon Podziemski, then I'm probably going to be really frustrated. No doubt. Like, I understand why people are frustrated in some aspects. Yes. But I just don't think he's going to transfer because his mom's going off on Facebook. Okay. So anyway, Lazy Forrest Gump says, I'm going to start shortening my name and going in third person. Let's fucking go. LFG is all for some parent drama. LFG. Yes. Lazy Forrest Gump. Yeah. Honestly, that's what, that's what I'm just going to start calling you. All right. LFG. That's who you are, brother. I'm going to refer to you as LFG moving on. Okay. All right. So, we're about 30 minutes in. I think we're going to do a preview show tomorrow for the game against Northwestern. So stay tuned for that. And obviously, we'll do at least a post-game show on Wednesday after the game. Still not sure if I'm going to go to Evanston or not. Those tickets to Illinois Northwestern are ridiculously expensive, and that arena is not big, and that's probably why. And the fact that Illinois is going there, all right, the Illini fans are going to travel. That's why they freaking up those prices, in my opinion. But yeah, so just to give you all a layout, that's probably what we're gonna do. So again, I appreciate y'all for hanging out. I appreciate y'all for giving me some laughs in the chat, and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new here. Tell your friends. I'm not going to give you inside information. I'm not going to give you, I don't know. I don't even have great, I'm not even big on the recruiting stuff, but I'll be here to react and talk about it, talk it out, and we can all get excited about this guy or that guy. We can have therapy session if the team loses by 20 against Northwestern Wednesday night. That's basically what I'm here for. Just I'm here to talk it out for the good and the bad. That's what I'm here for. That's the brand, guys. All right. So again, if you're into that, great. I appreciate it. So I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Also, I had one of my videos from the last podcast I put out on my TikTok account, and it blew up and has like 146 comments of people being either, I think they're all yelling at each other, and they're probably yelling at me. If you're watching this and you are here because of that, and you are supporting of my thoughts, I appreciate you. All right. But I don't know. I just want to put that out there. I appreciate it. So again, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. And like we always end the show, ILL.